Hello and welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine. I'm going to be pulling a reading on the full moon in Pisces, which is coming up here and is also a partial eclipse. So it'll be like a cool energy. I love eclipse energy. As always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. God, what does this collective need to know about the full moon in Pisces? We have the Seven of Swords and the Empress. That's interesting. The first thing that comes to me is that this guy is sneaking around like a naughty little child, and he's getting caught by his mom, who's very savvy and can see through his sneaking. I hope that will resonate for anyone. It might be a heads up that if there's something that you feel like you're trying to get away with, that it might not be a very good time to do that. I'm feeling like honesty is a pretty solid policy. It's like a really funny energy. That came to me so fast. What else does this collective need to know about this full moon eclipse in Pisces? We have the King of Cups. That's interesting. So the King of Cups is a pretty spiritual man. He's a very intuitive man. He's very in tune with his feelings. This is actually reminding me of I keep channeling this energy for one of my friends about kind of a castle built on the side of a cliff over the ocean, and how just over time, water always wins. So eventually, the water sort of washing on there will make everything fall away that's not built on anything solid. So I don't necessarily know that the king has to worry about that. He's on rock here. But I just feel like sharing that in case that resonates with anyone that, yeah, it's kind of like it's so weird. I'm channeling a weird message from that card. It's kind of like a tower feeling that okay, I think this is how it's related. So the King of Cups, I see him as an honest guy. So he's very opposite the energy of the Seven of Swords, this sort of naughty little child trying to get away with something, right? The King of Cups is a guy who is really in touch with his feelings, and I feel like he's a very ethical man. He's not going to do anything that kind of deviates from that compass, that north pointing compass in his heart. He's going to take the high ground. So yeah, this feels like anywhere where you are not being honest with yourself or following an ethical path, is going to kind of crumble away, like I said, like a castle or a house built on a sandy cliff, and it's only a matter of time before the ocean washes it away. That's interesting. Just heard the expression, the writing is on the wall. If this is a path that you're choosing of being dishonest, it's not gonna come to a good end. This is this is a really interesting energy. This is not what I expected. I feel like with eclipses, they either kind of shine light into the shadows, or they bring up the shadows through a period of darkness, right? Where it's a shadow period. So there's an interesting play with light and shadow, and I feel like this is maybe some energy of someone's dark side, if that makes sense. Someone's personal shadows or dark sides. And this doesn't have to mean that you're going to the store and stealing high cost items or anything like that. This could just be a place within yourself where maybe you don't even realize that you're not being honest with yourself, or maybe it's painful. It's a place you're kind of avoiding some honesty there. There's no shame here. All of us have these places that are difficult to look at, and that's okay. It's okay. So if this is you and this is resonating for you, have a ton of compassion for yourself. I'm like shuffling and shuffling and I feel like doing this, so we'll see. God, do you have any other messages for this collective for the full moon in Pisces eclipse? I just saw the Wild Unknown Tarot, so we'll switch. I don't know if the witches have any other messages. It's funny, I was kind of feeling both of these and I wasn't sure. I ended up feeling to start with the witches, but Wild Unknown's like, me, me, me. We'll see how chatty it is. All right, what do you want this collective to know? Okie dokie. So we have the Eight of Swords, the Death card. This is like, they very decisively popped out. I don't usually take this much, but we're just going to take them. Okay. So the Eight of Swords and the Death card makes me feel like the end of some sort of like helplessness or feeling trapped. The King of Cups came back. So this is the King of Cups from a different deck. So this is showing us that this is a really important message. And then the Queen of Cups too, which is really sweet. I love her like pointing right at the Death card. That's really interesting. I feel like she feels like a mother to me. So the Mother of Cups and the Empress are kind of feeling like a similar energy with her little wing out like this. She looks like a mother kind of scolding like with her finger. And because she's pointing at the Death card, I feel like she's saying like, you change your ways. So this is a really strong message and interesting, for this collective. There's somewhere, it just feels like a mischievous child energy. There's somewhere where you're kind of like up to something or being a little bit sneaky about something. And again, it doesn't have to be like an actual illegal activity or anything like that. But yeah, really just being able to be honest with yourself in that place. We have the Seven of Wands too, which is a lot around like protection and defenses. But what I'm super drawn to is exactly what I said about the eclipse energy, where this is literally bringing light to like this area of darkness, right? A sort of illuminating a shadow place within you. This is like a very eclipsey energy. This is really cool. I'm loving this mother vibe and this Mother of Cups like scolding someone. I feel like whatever this place is within you, where I wish I could think of like a better way to say it, because I legit don't feel like this collective is like going out and stealing TVs or something, right? But it almost feels like a place within you where ego is kind of going like tee and like doing like little evil fingers together because it's like getting away with something. So it's not even really you. Ego is like nonsense. But I feel like there's a place within you where that's happening, and maybe you're like not even aware of what's going on. I feel like this reading is really trying to help you bring some awareness to whatever this is. Even just pointing out to you that it's a thing that's like happening. Whatever this is, it's kind of keeping you stuck. Yeah, it feels like a little place where ego is just sort of running around like an imp and like causing trouble. And the universe is really wanting to show you that. Even her like kind of scolding and like pointing at it. It just feels like completely, once you recognize whatever this like pattern is or tendency or whatever this energy is within you that is represented by the Seven of Swords, it feels like all you have to do is recognize it. Kind of recognize it and have like this moment of insight. I'm feeling that with like the Seven of Wands, just being all of a sudden like this flame, right? This just moment of insight, this moment of illumination. As soon as you have that moment of insight, bam, it's dead. Like whatever this kind of mischievous, impish ego energy is, it only needs to be recognized and then it's done. Like it can't run its pattern anymore. It can't play that game anymore, because you recognized it. That's all that needs to happen. So it's just like an energy of illumination. It's really cool. It's like the energy that I feel here of like a mother scolding a naughty child. I don't know if that will resonate for any of you guys, but it's like a little bit funny. It's a little bit funny. I feel like you just will say to it, like, you knock it off right now, ego. And ego, like, it can't do anything anymore. It takes away its power, because you're able to see the pattern that it's running. At the bottom of the deck is the World, which is successful completions of cycles. It's kind of leveling up to the next phase, the next level. So yeah, I really feel like there's like a lot of parental energy here. There's a lot of parental energy. So this could resonate in a couple of ways. One, it could be you sort of being the adult, right? And this little ego piece kind of being like a part of your inner child running wild a little bit. And you kind of disciplining that, setting boundaries, like whatever you need to do. And again, like I said, I really feel like as soon as you just recognize it, it goes away. And the other way that this could potentially resonate is that it has something to do with your actual physical parents. So take that if it resonates. If not, no big deal. But I do feel like that's got to be a message for at least some people here, because I'm feeling that pretty strongly. And when I'm talking about this mother, like kind of scolding, it's not harsh and it's not shaming. So this is not like an energy of like an abusive parent or anything like that. It's like it feels like a mom who's like frustrated that you got mud all over your shoes, and she's like, take those shoes off before you come in the house, right? Like, this just came to me when I was explaining that. I've mentioned this energy before. It's like one of my favorite parts of this movie. So the movie The Labyrinth, right, from the 80s, when Sarah, the main character, is talking to the Goblin King, and spoiler alert, like skip ahead a couple minutes if you haven't seen the movie. But when she's talking to the Goblin King at the very end of the movie, she realizes the line that she's forgetting is, you have no power over me. And his like illusion of having power over her just completely dissolves in the second that she has that realization. So I feel like if you're in this collective, that's exactly what this is like you're having this moment of illumination kind of that's supported by like this full moon and eclipse energy. This moment of illumination that lets you look at this Seven of Swords, this impish energy, this ego pattern, and just lets you say, you have no power over me. And then any illusion of power that it had over you just completely dissolves. I love that. This is funny. I'm like, in my mind's eye, I keep seeing the king on this throne, like tipping over into the ocean. It's just like, he keeps doing that in my mind's eye, and it's like kind of cracking me up a little bit. And he's like falling over. I don't know. You guys you have some neat energy coming. This is something that may feel uncomfortable to confront, and it may feel uncomfortable to recognize. But it's okay to just keep yourself safe there. Do it with compassion. Do it with love. Do it with lots of presence, just being present with yourself and being tender with yourself. You can be compassionate and honest, right? Both of those things can exist in the same space. So just being compassionate and honest with yourself. And I feel like it will dissolve the illusion that this is something that's like trapping you. And then you get to move forward. I like how the Father of Cups here is facing like the forward moving direction, right? And just move forward. And as like a more emotionally intelligent person, and we saw the World's card now, the 10 of Cups is on the bottom. That's a super joyful card. You can see them celebrating and dancing. That's really sweet. Being able to move forward as like a more emotionally intelligent person, as a more emotionally mature person. It's like there's one more piece now of yourself that you understand, like even better, right? Kind of another piece to the puzzle of you. It's beautiful. What advice do you have, God, for this collective for the full moon in Pisces eclipse? The Six of Cups. That one's sweet. I love that one. That's a card of like really sweet nostalgic energy from the past. It's funny that it's children. There are not a whole lot of like child cards in the tarot. So the fact that I was reading the Seven of Swords as like an impish child, and I even mentioned a mother frustrated with the kids for getting like mud on their shoes, and these guys are like playing right on the side of this water. That's kind of funny. The Six of Cups feels very peaceful to me and very innocent. Like very peaceful and very innocent. I feel like that's an energy that you can embrace as you're working through this. Like no matter what, like all of us experience interactions with ego, right? It's just part of being a human being and part of our process as we heal and grow, you know, as souls. So you're innocent and like at the core, in truth, you're peaceful, right? So anything that doesn't feel that way for you is not truly who you are. I think just reminding yourself that you're like a really pure being is beautiful. I'm trying to feel if there's anything else there. It could be that whatever this is, that ego's kind of running rampant with, could be either a thing that happened in the past or like a memory for the past, or even a past relationship. It could be like a romantic relationship or just a relationship with your siblings. So I feel like this is going to resonate on different levels for different people who are watching this. That's sweet. So we have the Eight of Cups, the Emperor, and the Two of Cups. Okay, this is really interesting. So we have two divine couples here, and they're like some of the healthy couples in the tarot. Like there are some couples that are not so healthy, like the King and Queen of Swords are sort of like the divorced couple. But the Mother and Father of Cups, that King and Queen of Cups energy, is a very healthy relationship. And now we have the Empress and the Emperor, which is really sweet. I feel like this is you. The Eight of Cups for me always feels like walking away from something that you have been emotionally invested in. It actually feels like walking away from whatever this Six of Cups is. Like these two cards are kind of, I might just put these together. These two cards energetically are tied together. So there's this Six of Cups energy, and then walking away from that. This is something that may have once been, you know, really emotionally important to you. It may have been a dream for you. And now, like I said, ego kind of like hijacked it and is running rampant with it a little bit. I'm trying to think of an example of what that could be. I don't know, this is like a silly example, but maybe you had a childhood dream that you were going to be like the world's greatest magician or something, right? And it was like this really innocent and sweet dream, and maybe it's gotten to the point where it sort of has like taken over your life, right? And it's not in alignment for you anymore, and maybe you've tried and it hasn't panned out, and maybe the universe has something else that's like more aligned with who you are and what your kind of job is for this lifetime, right? So this could be ego kind of running around being still stuck on being like the world's greatest magician, even though that might not be like your divine purpose on this planet, right? That's maybe like a silly example, but that's what I can think of. So yeah, I feel like those two go together. Walking away from whatever this is. And yeah, ego likes to get us in the places where we're emotionally invested. That's like, you know, the places where we're tender, maybe have our guard down, maybe the places that we feel insecure. Like those are the easiest places to infiltrate and cause those feelings of like insecurity and doubt and kind of latch on there. Yeah, I feel like just reminding yourself that you're pure and innocent. I just keep hearing those words from the Six of Cups. Pure and innocent, pure and innocent. Those are like powerful words for you. So we have the Emperor and the Two of Cups. The Emperor is like Mr. in charge of his life, as opposed to the King of Cups. His throne is stable. So he's not hanging out on the edge of a cliff. So I keep seeing the King of Cups falling over in my mind's eye. Like I said, he's paired with the Empress. And actually, the way that I have the cards arranged on the table, like his gaze is looking right at her. That's really sweet. And then the Two of Cups is a card of like romantic union. It's really beautiful. And like I was talking about the light before, I feel like the way that the light is playing on these cards is really attractive to me. With the full moon and the eclipse energy, and just that concept of kind of going into the dark places within you, right? Like illuminating that. So this is why I felt called to point out the divine couples on the table. Like, we have two really powerful, really strong divine relationships here on the table. And then being in union, like a partnership with each other. I mean, in this card, I think it's actually like a hand fasting. You can see the cord there. So that's them getting married. That's like how people used to do it, right? So it could be that whatever this is, wherever you're being trapped, and then recognizing that, like I said, just recognizing it and taking its power away, just in the very act of recognizing it, causes this complete end to whatever this pattern or situation is. And then being able to move forward. And I'm wondering, for some of you at least, if this forward movement is actually like either towards a partnership or maybe moving deeper into a relationship that you're in. I totally feel that. There's like a lot of, there's just like a lot of love energy, like being together in union with like a relationship partner. It's really powerful. Do you have anything else to say? No. I feel like the wild unknown wants to come back. At the bottom is the star. I was looking at that while I was pulling. I was like, oh, I love the star. It's so lovely. I love the star. The star is an energy of healing and of like wishes coming true. So I feel that. It's like healing this. It's like healing this allows your star to come in. So like with the star card, a lot of times it's like a far off dream. It's like off in the distance, right? It can be representative of a dream that's been like a long time coming, but it kind of feels like you recognize this. You basically say, you have no power over me. It dissolves. It clears away this trapped feeling of the Eight of Swords. And it's like your star turns into like a shooting star and it can just like shoot in. We have another repeat card here, the Eight of Cups. And then the Mother of Wands. There's like so much mother and father energy here. This is very interesting. So I wonder if this could represent like a couple who has children, or like I said, maybe it represents your actual mother and father. The Mother of Wands is the Queen of Wands. I'm drawn to the fact that she's protecting her eggs. I don't usually even notice that, but you can see she's like kind of curled up on her pile of eggs. It's like protecting something that's precious to you. And actually, like I've pointed that out with the Seven of Swords too. So he's stealing these swords because they're like important to him. They're something valuable, right? It feels like this energy of being kind of vicious, almost like there's like an edge to this card that is not here, but these two cards are very tied together. The way that I'm feeling the energy, I feel like even the textures of them is like similar. Anyways, she's kind of protecting and guarding something that's precious to her. And then this is the Eight of Cups again, just like that feeling of walking away from something. I feel like the warning here is that this might be somewhere that you feel very fiercely protective. You might feel very fiercely protective of whatever this is. Even the eggs are representing like that child energy from the Six of Cups. You're like protecting your innocence. This is interesting. The Two of Swords. This is funny. I did a reading and some of these same cards were coming out. The Two of Swords. This is all right. All that I'm drawn to right now is this, which is it looks like a solar eclipse, doesn't it? And then the corona of the sun sort of beaming out from the disc. I mean, it's like so funny. So we're going to be experiencing the opposite, right? Which is a lunar eclipse. So the Two of Swords is like a stalemate. It's a refusal to see the truth. It's a refusal to make a decision. You might be feeling overwhelmed and you just kind of put your swords up and you're like, forget it. I'm not going to decide anything. So this feels like a warning to do the opposite of that because we have the opposite eclipse energy. It feels like a warning that the more productive course of action here will be to put down the swords, to take off the blindfold, to make a decision, and kind of be just willing to like be really honest with yourself and also really loving with yourself. I'm feeling that like this might be, if this is a pattern for you, it might be a pattern that's like a little bit difficult to see, maybe a place where you feel like ashamed. So just really making sure that you're giving yourself so much love, and helping yourself feel safe. Like, I feel like that's what this energy is about, is like just that protection. Like, and even the fact that I'm feeling like this sort of parent energy from the kings and queens and the empress and the emperor, like kind of being your own inner parent and protecting yourself, right? Like you wouldn't allow, I don't know, like you wouldn't allow someone to bully your child. You wouldn't allow someone to bully your friend. So don't allow yourself to bully yourself ever. Just be gentle, gentle, gentle. Like the cups here, this guy and this is just like really gentle emotional energy. I have the Moonology cards. The first one we got is Hold Your Vision, Fixed Moon. I feel like it's holding on to the vision of this, of your innocence and your purity. And that's the case for all of us. Like, what I believe on a spiritual level is that all of our souls are innocent and pure. And it's only like these ego patterns that kind of trip us up, right? So whatever this is representing, it's not really you. That's not truly who you are at the core. So it's okay to just recognize that it's a pattern and it's not really you. It's not even really you. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. That's sweet. Yeah, I feel like this is it. This is you resolving this issue. And like I said, I feel like if you can come to it from a place where you have the blindfold off, where you have a ton of compassion and you're making like a safe space for yourself to be honest, you're just going to see this, you're going to recognize it, and it's just going to dissolve. And that's it. That's the resolution. And I feel like it allows you to move forward with relationships, which feels really nice. I definitely feel like there's a romance element here that's going to be able to come through. Is there anything else that you want to say? We have Work Through Your Fears, New Moon in Scorpio. Yeah, that's all it is. Fears are illusions. They're like It's funny. Sorry, I'm like channeling something random. I was thinking earlier about I'm talking about movies from the 80s or whatever, but the never-ending story, like the nothing, the energy of the nothing. And that scene where he's in the cave and all you can see is like the gleaming, like green yellow color of his eyes or whatever in the dark. But all that he is hopelessness. All that he is despair. So holding on to this like bright, beautiful vision of your innocence and your purity, like everything else is just an illusion. It's all just an illusion. Being able to work through your fears, that's it. Just be present with yourself and tell the fears you have no power over me. And that's it. That's all it takes for them to dissolve. This is really beautiful. Whoever you are, if you're in this collective, this is going to be like a nice step forward for you on your spiritual journey. So I hope that was helpful. This feels very complete to me. If you feel called to do so, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, as any interactions that you do with this video help me as I'm growing my channel. And I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.